Hello everyone, it's Sakuems. So this video is going to be a new artwork time lapse, and basically what happened. This new piece is called Emily, and why my own name? I don't know. It's just I don't know. I don't have any specific reason. When I look at my characters, I'm like, this name, and then that's like sold. If you didn't see my last week's video, which was the 10-minute drawing challenge, I basically sketched on a computer for like 10 minutes and it was kind of a fail, and I was kind of frustrated in the end. I was like, oh man, like this just looks super bad, maybe I can do something with it. And so I was supposed to just do like a basic speed paint using this sketch. That's this like super basic sketch that I had. And so after finishing my 10-minute drawing video, like the 10-minute challenge video, I went ahead and I just kept on recording myself drawing on this piece, hoping to do a quick speed paint for this week's video, maybe something like in 1 or 2 hour max, which didn't work out as much because I've actually spent 8 hours on this piece, maybe even more. So the reason why basically I wanted to create a new digital artwork that I can use as a step-by-step tutorial for my upcoming art book, which is supposed to be released the end of the month, maybe early August, sometime like that, because mid-August I'm away for holidays. So something in the next like couple weeks it should be out. So I needed a new artwork for my last step-by-step for the art book. And so I was like, you know what, like let me just like do a quick like portrait, and then I can explain on the art book like how I go from basic sketch to a finished artwork on a computer. And so yeah, that was like my basic like reasons. This was just to do something for tutorial. And so basically this artwork, and it just went through different stages, and I kind of like it's not like a huge transformation, but still I'm kind of like not impressed, it's not the word, I'm just a little bit shocked sometimes when I work from something super basic that looks kind of bad, that has no shapes whatsoever, and it's like really weird looking and like crooked eyes, and like, you know, like the ugly stage, what we commonly like artists go through different stages. It's like you kind of hate what you're doing and it looks super bad, and you just have to push yourself to finish something. And so what I've learned with this piece is basically my process when I work on a computer. And I won't talk too much about how I do things because it's going to be for the art book. So I'm just going to quickly talk about what happened with this piece and what my idea was then when I decided everything. So the first thing that I did, so there was like a really crappy sketch, right? And then I just went over and I tried to work with this as a base, creating like a cool portrait. It was supposed to be like something quite modern looking, a bit more like real people type of thing. Like I got inspired a lot about recent fashion, and so I wanted to draw someone that basically just had a lot of edginess and style, and also, yeah, I guess someone that people can relate to, that actually looks like a real girl from the 23rd century. Yeah, that's the word. You know, like someone that literally you could walk and meet in real life, not like a fantasy character. So that was my idea, and as I was working on this, I realized that I wanted to just do more. I was like, you know what, this is too basic. Let me just, because it's just a portrait, I wanted her to just stand out and kind of look like fierce, you know, like, hey, this is me, and you already know who I represent by just looking at this basic portrait of myself. And yeah, and it's kind of like basically a fashion icon in a way. I don't know, that was my idea, and so I was working on that, and I just kept switching between 2 software. So like I said, I don't want to talk too much about the process, but basically I've used 2 softwares. My first is Clip Studio Paint, and it's a painting software that has a very distinct like painterly effect. It is quite interesting, and I'm using the watercolor tool, which allows me to blend everything really easily, and it's just a lot faster than using Photoshop. However, I found that on Clip Studio Paint Pro I have a problem where when it's coming to like fixing the, I guess, the colors as a whole, like adding effects or highlights, and it's just texture, all of those the elements that kind of like to me are more retouching an artwork and like photo editing more than actually painting. All the photo editing that I did, fixing little things, I did on Photoshop. And so I keep switching between the two software. If I wanted to actually draw a bit more and like just blend everything, I was going on Clip Studio Paint Pro for a lot of like a large portion of this artwork, and then the rest was on Photoshop. And yeah, like I said, I spent about 8 hours. And so at some point, I think it was like I don't know, maybe after like 3 or 4 hours, I kind of wanted her to have a little bit more of a edgy look, to maybe like a rock star of some sort. I don't have any idea, but I was just thinking that she was looking too like romantic, bubbly, cute girl. And so I was like, you know what, she has a cute face. Let me just like go deeper into like her style and be like, hey, I'm a cute girl, but I'm also like not, you know what I mean? Like, I wanted her to just not be too cutesy, pretty, like pretty young thing. I wanted her to have a little bit more like attitude to it and be just, you know what, I'm not just cute, like, you know. So she's basically like some sort of rock star or like a fashion icon. And so what happened, basically, I was somehow close to my concept. I had like a cool shirt design, this hat, this purple hat, and kind of edgy, and already had a dark makeup. And I shot a preview on Twitter, and someone, and so I'm gonna name her, of course, but Jellybee mentioned, she's another artist on YouTube, by the way. Jellybee mentioned that she kind of looked like a girl from a neighborhood in London. It's Camden Town. And so I googled, I was like, what is it? Like, I don't know what it is. So I googled it, and I saw tons of pictures of like I guess London young adult style, like teenager style, like more like, I would like to say this is more like 17, 25, like this is my age group. Like, I would personally say that my character is probably about 19, 20-ish. Like, she's kind of like a young or an old teen, I don't know. You know, something like that. And so I googled that, and and like, you can check it out on Google Image, Camden Town style. And I was super inspired because everyone just looks super edgy and cool. And so I got into like a bit more of a dark makeup and like kind of like rock, but also glam. And so I googled glam rock, and of course this is in London. It took place, whatever, in London in the 1970-ish, 75, something like that. And so it kind of worked out because I kind of wanted her to be kind of like a London girl. And so she's basically inspired by this like old school like glam rock, and like kind of like a goth side to it, but also kind of modern, like kind of in fashion. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I made a point into explaining like how I got to this type of character. And when I decided the glam rock kind of feeling to it, it helped me build up everything else, you know. So she's kind of like a mix between different things, and I don't want to offend anyone when I'm saying that she is from this specific like style, or, you know, it's like a fictional character that I wanted her to represent something that is quite personal to herself, but she was also inspired by other things, and the mix of everything creates her own persona. So that was my idea. I spent about 8 hours on this piece, even though it's just a portrait, and I don't know how some people just do it so fast. My computer isn't slow, but it just takes a lot of time for me to blend and create the contrast that I want and the texture that I want. And I don't know, sometimes I kind of overwork myself into like, no, when I say overwork, it's because of the result that I want. I wanted a painterly effect, and so I tend sometimes to just do too much detail, and it's starting to be kind of plasticky looking, and so I have to work on that, and I want to do more digital painting for that reasons. So yeah, that's basically it. Like I said, it's just like a cool like portrait that I wanted to try, and I like that it's really different from my previous characters, but I still keep my style in a way that I just really like to challenge myself a bit more. This is still quite basic, but still. And so I just wanted to say and give an advice to people. The process of an artwork, when I'm working, it literally can change entirely in a course of like 2 hours, 3 hours, or a day or 2 days. This entire process, in terms of hours, like I spent about 8 hours on the design, like on the artwork, but it was, I started this on a Saturday, and then I worked on it on a Sunday, then I worked on it Monday, I posed for like a day or something, and I worked again on it, and like I worked bit by bit, like 2 hours each day or something, and every time I had a fresh look to it, and I was able to figure things out, and like, okay, like this is not right, let me change this, let me change that, and that helped me a lot. And so when you're working on an artwork, like don't feel pressured to just finish it already. Like it's okay if you don't finish it in an hour, 2 hours, whatever. Don't even count like how much time you spend on it. What matters is being happy about what you achieve after a while, and pause and stop for a bit and come back at it. Even if it's like a 30 minutes or an hour or 3 hours, no matter really, it's still nice to have a fresh look on a piece. And so if you are like me, a self-employed artist, or an artist, like it's your job, and you can't really just have the luxury to stop working, it's okay to just have maybe 1 or 2 projects at a time. And so you can work for 3 hours on something, and then just work on something else for 3 hours, and then you can have a break, and the day after you can work like again on, so that way you just can allow your brain to clean itself from a design and just look at it again and be like, oh, okay, now I know where I'm going. So that's the finished piece. I'm really happy with the design. I really hope that you enjoyed the video as well. If you're interested, you can basically get on Etsy for a print if you want it, and I have different sizes available. There's also a new original art for you available if you're interested. Going back to this artwork, so Emily is also available on merchandising on my Society 6 shop, and I will have a link in the description below. And that will be it for this video. Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye!